Got an important message. I've been told to give y'all this message top of this day. So this is coming from the spiritual realm, and it's about your spiritual compass. The way it goes down is like this, right? We already know, we've already discussed that your spirit travels out ahead of you. But although your spirit travels ahead of you, you are you are directing it based on your vibrations, your desires, what inspires you, your likes and dislikes, all that type of stuff sets the tone of your vibration, which sets the direction in which your spirit travels in. So on a spiritual compass, it's kind of like a regular compass, except obviously it's a life compass. So, there's east, west, north, south. If you're heading south, you're descending. And I'm saying on your compass, if you're heading south, you're basically like backtracking. Although you can't reverse in the spiritual realm, there is no going backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, there is no traveling into what you would call the past in no realm of reality, unless except in the one dimension of of thought, like just imagining going backwards. That's the only way to travel backwards. But aside from that, everything as far as evolution, um, everything is going spiraling forward, and the forward direction is going in one direction. Not necessarily one direction like straight, but forward. You know what I'm saying? Rather, even if it's in a circle, it's going forward. It's not back on the other opposite direction. And then east and west, it's more like a balance beam. It's more like you're leaning more towards likely doing this or likely doing that to head in the direction, because you're always really going north. Even if you go south for a second, as in, like I said, like backtracking, you got to go forward in order to backtrack. You have to. It's like coming back into a space. You know what I'm saying? Versus not coming back into a space, but even coming back into it's like this. Like if you was bang, we backtrack every day because we go home to our house. So every time you go back to your house, that's a backtrack. Even though in time you actually was going forward, you might have went out, went to work, went about your day, and then you went back home. That's like a backtrack. That's like going south in the spiritual realm, but not necessarily that. Um, Even if you made the same mistake twice, you made it going forward. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you actually went back in time and did the same thing again. So that's how that works with the east and west. It's more like a balance. But what direction, what are you more likely to go or not? But you're always traveling north. So your spirit, as it's up ahead of you, the way that works is like this, right? Let's say that you're coming from now east, west, south, north. It's only it's pretty much just about your motion. It's not really like the east is fucking New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island type shit, or New England rather, and the west is California, and you know what I'm saying, all that. It's not like that. It's just a matter of travel. So it's like you can use your spiritual compass at work, right? You can think about your job and say, damn, well, how's work going? It seems like work is just like I just keep going into that same space, like thinking of your progress. Like I just keep going and getting stuck on that same project. That's like you keep traveling south. Although you're traveling north, you keep going south. Or, you know, I've been getting I be at promotions back to back to back, and everything's been just looking up. That means you're only traveling north, and you're not going back into that space in that part of that dimension, even though you're going to work back and forth. So in that sense, your spiritual compass um, is traveling north. But as far as your progress, you're only traveling north, right? So the way the way this it works as far as with your spirit being guided by you, by the vibes, right? Say that say okay, let's use it like this. Let's say you are coming from Cali. You're coming from the West Coast heading over to the East Coast. At some point in time, you come to an intersection. Now, in the 3D realm, intersections are in the spiritual realm. A lot of intersections are made from the 3D realm. You know what I'm saying? Because by coming and experiencing this 3D realm and the way that it's set up with the physical, we create blocks. Like you can't walk through a house as a person. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't, if it's a certain roadway that you're on and you come to an intersection where you have to make a turn, you're not gonna drive straight because it might be woods right there in front of you and your car won't be able to go straight. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make a turn. In the spiritual realm, it's not necessarily like that where you have to make those turns. You know what I'm saying? But because in the 3D realm, you have to make certain turns. It still, the fact that you make those certain decisions here to make those certain turns, it makes there's still like a butterfly effect that happens in the spiritual realm based on that decision because it sets a vibration tone like this, right? So you're coming from Cali, and you know what I'm saying? You come to this intersection where you're either going to turn left to go north or you're going to turn right to go south. Now, you may take that. Now, before you get to that intersection, somewhere in time before you got there, right? It may be like, it could have been something growing from your childhood, or it could be something recently discovered by you, like by yourself, that changes the tone of your vibration, because it's all based on your current vibration state. You know what I'm saying? That's who you are. Your now. The now is you, not before. But from before, you know what I'm saying? Like you could bring, like for example, right? You may like, you might like warm weather better than cold weather, right? So since you like warm weather better than cold weather, that might be something that that you recognized when you was younger, and that always stuck with you. Like you just always like warm weather more than cold weather. You feel me? So as your spirit is traveling and it comes to that intersection in the 3D realm is like, damn, am I gonna go left towards north or right towards south? Now, on your spiritual compass, this is where the east and west comes in at. Because no, it's not, like I said, it's not east and west that you definitely going. It's just a way of travel. So it knows more than likely, you're likely to go east. You know what I'm saying? You're likely to lean towards certain things on the east side that would, not the east side in the 3D on the map, but I'm saying like the east of the spiritual realm. You're more likely to lean east. So in the 3D realm, right? You would say like the east side of you would be, you know what I'm saying, like a person of like that's heavily in tune probably with the physical. You know what I'm saying? Your east might be something that's heavily in tune with the physical, and your west might be something that's heavily in tune with your spiritual. So you're making decisions more out of your spiritual from the west, and then more out of your physical from the east. And your spirit, like I said, it doesn't reach certain It doesn't reach intersections. The intersections is only in 3D. So as your spirit is traveling, it's not gonna turn left or right. It's just gonna glide. It's going forward. It's just gonna glide this way. It's navigating different currents and atmospheres and stuff like that that we don't know about and we don't pay attention to. But as it's just going this way. It's going that way because there's the pull based on, and there's the pull and steer based on your vibrations. So, so it knows as it's traveling, like chances are, you know what I'm saying, I'm going into this gravity pull, and this gravity pull might be a representation in the 3D realm of self because the person likes the hot weather more than the cold weather. So by the time you catch up to where your spirit has already traveled through in the physical realm, which would be you getting to that intersection and deciding if you're going to go left, north, and right, south, your spirit already knows that you're going to go right, south because you more gravitate towards warm weather. You know what I'm saying? Your spirit already traveled that. So bang, you at the intersection. You got to make a decision on which way you're going to go, left or right. Bang, you decide to go right. Now, the thing is this, right? Once you go right, you're going to run into smaller intersections. But these intersections don't have a major effect on your spirit because your spirit blows past all of it. It already knows what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go right, another intersection that you might run into, because every time you come to a time where you have to make a decision on something, that's an intersection. You know what I'm saying? Some of those intersections decide in a drastic way on which way your spirit flows. And your spirit goes up ahead of you and sends you messages back. So it needs you to vibrate and direct it in order for it to know what messages and signs to send you back. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it knows that you're gonna, that you gravitate more with the warm weather. And it's not that your spirit's looking at it that way. It's just the way that everything aligns in the spirit realm with you, with your preferences and shit like that. It's just the way it is. This is not no really decision making. The only decision making is made here. And you know what I'm saying? It's already pretty much known what you're more than likely going to decide. So once you take that right, you come to smaller intersections, which is like there's food. You know what I'm saying? There's food, different places of food that you can pick from that you want to get on the ride, you know, in that direction. Then once you decide what place you want to eat at, you got to decide what you're going to order as far as food. And then you decide if you're going to take it to go or if you're going to eat in. Now, those are like smaller intersections. They're not really drastic, life-changing joints. So it's more like a rotary. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, it's more like a rotary because it's like more options and shit. And it's like, but the thing about it is, it's not about, you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes you off the course of travel. It's hard to explain that part. So let me just try to keep it simple. Your spirit is still going to be traveling north. It's still going to be traveling forward. It's still going to be traveling south when you took that right. You know what I'm saying? So you come into that next intersection of deciding your food, that doesn't have anything to do with the direction that your spirit is flowing in. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not even considered. Your spirit is already past all of that because there's nothing to stop for. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we could come to these stops and these confusions because it's a major decision that you got to make up the way. Like I said, when a person comes to that left to go north or right to go south, the decision is major because it's only the two directions in the 3D for the person to travel at that intersection. So your spirit already went ahead knowing that you like the warm weather more, and you are more gonna take that right to go south than left to go north. You know what I'm saying? So you got to learn how to read your compass, though. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to read your momentum and see what direction you're headed in, what's your situation. You can apply your spiritual compass to any situation to see if that situation is going good or if it's going bad. What signs is the situation showing, so that you know what you want. Because the more information, the more you know what you want and you desire, the more the more easier it is for your spirit to travel. Now it's gonna travel no matter what, but it could just keep making U-turns. It could keep going in donuts, north, south, north, south, north, south, because you're undecided on something. It might be a life-changing event, like, oh, because it's like once your spirit knows what direction you're gonna go in at that intersection, the left or right, north or south, it already knows. It doesn't have to slow down and send you signs like a food place is gonna be coming up, and what would you be eating? You know what I'm saying? And you be like, you know what I'm saying? I got a taste for this, I got a taste for that. That's not how it goes. It's like once you take that right turn, there's only so many different possibilities that can play out based on that right turn heading south. And then if you take that left turn heading north, there's only so many different possibilities that can play out heading north. And there's no possibility heading north that's going to play out heading south. You might get food going either direction, but what I'm saying is, like, it's two different life paths. It's two different paths. So, you know, when you go right, your spirit already knows, like, okay, this, that, and the third is going to be bumped into. There is nothing to slow down for or send a sign for. It's just going to keep traveling until it gets to that next intersection. When it gets to it, and it's not just spirit reaching the intersection, it's reaching certain atmospheres and poles where it knows that you're going to have to make a decision. Sometimes your spirit will be staying at that position because you haven't gave the indication from this point. You haven't sent the message ahead to your spirit to decide which way to flow. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like you might be about to go to college, and you don't know which college you want to go to. So your spirit is kind of like, it knows what you vibe with, as far as you know, you always wanted to grow up and become a doctor. So because your spirit knows that you always wanted to grow up and be a doctor, it's still heading in the medical direction. You know what I'm saying? And it's still trying to construct the things and bring you into the situations and lead you into the paths of becoming that doctor. But you have to make certain decisions that will put your spirit on a certain track for certain things to play out, because everything doesn't play out no matter what. You know what I'm saying? It's going to go this way, that way, that way, that way, that way, or that way. It's kind of complicated to explain. So, yeah, so once you decide, like, all right, bang, I'm busting this right, I'm going to go down here, I'm going to get this food, I'm going to get this, that, and the third, and I'm going to take it to go. And then you leave there, you keep on heading down the road or whatever. See, you knew already that you wasn't changing directions when you came out the food place to go back north. So that wasn't vibing on your joint. Your vibration was only saying that you was going to continue in the same direction. And that's why your spirit was able to keep on going ahead without needing directions from you in the 3D, you know what I'm saying, as far as, like, without needing insight on what you more than likely would do or not. So yeah, then you have those life or death situations where it's like not even life or death, but just life changing type events, which could be life or death. It could be something like deja vu. You know what I'm saying? When your spirit gets to a certain point, it may be like it may send you a dream. You know what I'm saying? It could be a life or death situation, but it's definitely a situation or you know what I'm saying, is your spirit definitely needs your assistance on something that you're gonna run into. You know what I'm saying? And you may not have certain experiences yet in life that tells your spirit based on how far ahead of you it is. And it's not that it's so far ahead of you because, like I said, you're still staring. It's just like your third eye. It's just like your insight. You know what I'm saying? It's like your predictive text type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what's more than likely gonna come. You into fucking WO. You know it's probably gonna say word, world, um, Whopper. Well, no, not WO, but you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So, so that's how deja vu works. You know what I'm saying? You end up getting a certain sign in your dreams, or rather it's your sleeping dreams at night, rather it's your daydreams, or rather, you know, rather you just went unconscious or something real quick. Something that, right, even if it was in your meditative state, you just got hooked on an astral travel, and and because our subconscious takes everything in. So as it's taking everything in, it's putting everything together and it's seeing what's more than likely gonna play out based on your vibrations. Period. So that's how your spirit's able to travel on a prediction of what you want based on how you are. So when it comes to the point that your spirit got to decide something unknown but crucial to you and your evolution and going forward, that's where deja vu comes in. Because it's like it puts you through a certain, like it's trying to hack your brain basically because it knows what's gonna play out. It just don't know yet how you are gonna respond or be. So you might have a dream or something of this situation and your spirit sees in that dream, you know what I'm saying? You give your spirit directions and guidance in that dream to say what you would do in that situation or how you're gonna react or how you're gonna respond. You know what I'm saying? So that's why deja vu comes up because later on when you do come to that intersection or that space, that time, um, you already been there. You know what I'm saying? And you can remember it vividly because of so much focus that was put into the to you and your spirit. Yeah, it's like your holy trinity, like everything becoming one. You know what I'm saying? Everything had to become one on, like you had to become one with yourself in order to attain enough energy and a high enough vibration to connect, to have a stronger connection with the universe in order to receive the imagery. You know what I'm saying? In order to pick up on the vibes and the frequency. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like no matter what, based on something based on something about you. You know what I'm saying? Based on the way you're steering your spirit, it's like no matter what, this person is gonna come to this point. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, this is gonna play out in this person's life. No matter what life changing decisions the person made, what happens, this person is gonna come to this point. This is gonna play out. So when it comes here, I need to know how the person's gonna respond or how the person would respond or you know what I'm saying, which way would I be going, which way would we be traveling from there, you know what I'm saying, which path would we be taking from there. So you experience it before you in the astral realm before you actually experience it in the 3D realm, more cautious and vividly, except you forget because if you remembered, then it would take you off course. You know what I'm saying? That's why we forget a lot of our dreams. It's important to stay in your dream because in your dream it's you astral traveling. It's like you being in your spirit form, traveling up ahead, and you know what I'm saying. It's your subconscious is playing out the different images, everything that because you know 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4, so on and so on. So it's the same kind of thing. Everything is in your subconscious of what's more than likely about to happen. And based on those things and how accurate it is, it knows already. It sets your vibration. You know what I'm saying? So it needs you to cause to have influence. You know what I'm saying? You have to influence it with um you have to influence it with your actions, basically. You know what I'm saying? Based on your actions, because it knows what's more than likely gonna happen, but as these things do happen, it plays out. What's already known plays out. I hope I ain't losing nobody. I mean, I understand it. I know how it works. I get it. But it's a little bit hard to explain when you're trying to merge them. You know what I'm saying? Um, so it's like I said, in any situation, you can use your spiritual compass. Is this going good? Is this going bad? Is it going to my liking? Is it going against my liking? But the thing is, you gotta know that you're in you and the universe are co-creators. Y'all are both working together. Yeah, they say people create their own reality. We do based on our own vibrations, but at the same time, our external world, we don't. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's happening around us still influences certain decisions and things that we would make versus us just traveling on our own and not being influenced by anything. So you're so based on what you're trying to manifest and shit like that, the universe works with you. You know what I'm saying? The universe, because I may be here. This is how the butterfly effect works. You know what I'm saying? I could be here trying to do something, and based on what I'm trying to do, can affect the motherfucker all the way in China who might be trying to do something. And what I'm doing may make what he's doing fail, or what he's trying to do fail. What he's doing may make what I'm trying to do fail. Or, yeah, it would be some shit like that. So it's like you gotta be in tune on. It's just like if you pray, you know what I'm saying? Or when we speaking, we gotta be careful what we say. We gotta be careful on what we pray for, because you might be like, you know what I'm saying? And when you're praying, all you're really doing, if you're talking to the ancestors and helping you, they operating within the universe. You know what I'm saying? So it's helping you to manifest and praying for protection and shit like that. But when you pray, you know what I'm saying, you gotta know that you might be like, oh, let me pray for my cousin. You know what I'm saying? He's out in the streets gang banging. I'm gonna pray, Lord. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, when you're praying, people pray to God and Lord Jesus and all that type of stuff. But you're really praying just to your inner self. You know what I'm saying? You're praying to your inner self, your ancestors, and the spirits that's around you. There ain't no outside God that's you know what I'm saying, doing these different things. We're all one. Everything is in sync. Everything is one motion and one flow. You know what I'm saying? But people think that there's separation. There's no separation. So once you start praying, all you're really doing is setting motion, setting waves in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Setting a different current, basically manipulating the atmosphere and the weather and the spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying? Like you pray. So let's say like a person's praying, Lord, you know, I pray and pray for protection over my cousin. My cousin is in the streets, and you know what I'm saying? I pray that, you know, that they stay in the best of health, and you know, they don't get killed out there in them streets and shit like that, right? Now that prayer can essentially do exactly what you want. So what ends up happening is your cousin end up getting into a gunfight with somebody and end up killing the other person. Or your cousin goes to commit a crime against somebody and probably try to take somebody's stuff from them or something, and then the person puts up a fight, or the person is thinking about going for a gun to protect themselves or going for something to protect themselves, and your cousin end up killing that person. Because if they didn't, probably what would happen is the other person would have been able to protect themselves in a way where your cousin ended up being dead. Or I pray for the best for my cousin, you know, and praying for the best of your cousin could be praying for the worst for somebody else, because we all affect each other. So by praying for certain things to happen with certain people or even happen with yourself, there's a ripple effect that, you know what I'm saying? That's the butterfly effect. It causes an effect on everything and everybody, even if it's in the smallest amount. You know? So it's good to be on point how you vibing. That's why it's really, really crucial and important that you keep it real with yourself, because it don't really matter about the front that a motherfucker try to put up. You know what I'm saying? Because you only go in front in this 3D realm in front of other people who's stuck and focused only from the body. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not spiritual, or they misled by certain religions that keep them from being spiritual. Just because you're religious don't mean you're spiritual. So, you know, person might be like, no, I'm not even trying to make this video too long. I'm pretty sure that y'all got my point or whatever. So just be on point how you vibing. Like I said, keep it real. As long as you're keeping it real with yourself, because that is what is going to, on your spiritual compass, you can only read your spiritual compass. You know what I'm saying? It's like a status report on yourself. What direction am I headed in? Is this going good? Is this going bad? Am I balanced? You know what I'm saying? Is there something I need to fix? Am I going in a circle? Am I doing donuts, or am I just straight traveling north? You know what I'm saying? Am I keep on going into the same spaces, or am I traveling new lands? You know what I'm saying? But you false flagging, punt faking, and all that type shit, you only going to try to manipulate people who can observe you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the test that made scientists have to stand outside the room to get accurate results of certain experiments, because if they're inside the room, or if they're looking at whatever the experiment is being done on, or whatever experiment is being done that they can see, their observation can cause that the results to be different from how it would be had they not been observing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. So basically, keep it real, because no matter what, your vibration is what's real. You can't escape that. You vibrate truth. We all vibrate truth. And based on that truth, the truth is what is really creating reality. The truth, what you're vibing on, that's how you manifest things. Like, damn, you really want this to happen, or you really want to possess this, or you really want to gain this, or you really want to get rid of this, or you really want to stop this, certain shit like that. You're sincere about that truth, that's the vibration that's set. So no matter how much you try to lie, you know what I'm saying, that shit don't work. You can only manipulate those that's observing you, and put on like this false result, this false impression. But whatever your vibration is, the universe synchronizes with that and helps co-create the reality for you. So you read your compass. You don't use your compass like, okay, I'm gonna go in this direction, I'm gonna go in that direction. No, it's how am I moving? How am I doing? What am I doing? You know, is this happening? Is that happening? You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, remember that we in the ocean. So going with the flow is gonna keep you heading north. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you might come to those intersections where you gotta make certain turns, make certain decisions. And in most cases, those intersections, there's always a left or a right turn. You know what I'm saying? This way or that way. But in making those decisions, it's a web of things that can play out. You know what I'm saying? This one or that one. And what's more than likely gonna happen, that's why this shit's like chess and not checkers. Because you don't only have to move one direction. Anything's possible. That's the thing. That's what makes this shit chess and not checkers. The fact that anything's possible. There ain't no strict direction. Now you might follow, say, for example, you might follow laws. Okay, based on those laws, a person is only going to do so much and not do so much. Whereas if those laws weren't there to create certain blockages or certain illusions in your head, to direct certain illusions in your head, or direct your focus on certain illusions in your head, it wouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that would be possible. But the fact that anything is possible is what opens it up. So when you focus on something, that's what narrows your scope. You know what I'm saying? It's good to, if you're a person who always focuses on things, then you need to learn how to switch subjects, switch topics, switch visions. Because when you're focusing on something, that can leave you blinded to the outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might be a whole bunch of things. You know what I'm saying? You look at the hand, and then you be like, oh, I see 5 fingers, I see the hand. But then you also see me, you see, the door or whatever behind me. But when you focus on the hand, sometimes you won't pay attention to what else is there. You gotta focus on everything. Take it all in. And if you a person who knows that that's something that you do, you always focus on something specific, learn how to look outside, and then, okay, I see the hand, I done focused on that, let me get out of there, and let me focus on that lock right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna focus on that, I'm not gonna focus on the hand if you can't see things as a whole. All right, man, I'm out.